Hello guys, my name is Aditya and welcome to the second video of NumPy tutorial. In the first video we talked about NumPy arrays and how to convert a list or tuple or a set into NumPy arrays. Also we talked about the different dimensions of arrays and how to get the different dimensions of arrays. Okay, and thirdly we talked about accessing the array elements using positive indexing and negative indexing, and today we'll be talking about slicing arrays. So to explain what is meant by slicing arrays, let me just take an array and I need to import, first of all import numpy as np. Then let me take an array. Now you guys might be wondering why I needed to import this NumPy, as I have already imported here, but this is a fresh kernel. I'm running it today and it is a fresh kernel. So in a fresh kernel I need to rerun either all the cells, or I need to run the cells that I want to run actually. np dot array 1 2, let's say 43 and 5. So this is my array. Let me just increase the size 6 7 8. So this is my array. Let me just print this array, print arr. So this is my array. Okay, now I want to take or extract this portion of the array and I want to make it a new array. Okay, this portion of an array, and I want to make it a new array. So how can I do this? Is new arr will be arr from 0 1 2, from index 2 to less than which index? 0 1 2 3 4, so less than 5, right? Now let me just print this new arr. So we have what we wanted. Now let me tell you how to write these indices. Okay, if we want to slice an array, we need to write whatever is the array name. Okay, array name, and we need to give the start index, we need to give the end index, and we need to give a step, just like for loop. Okay, the range operator in for loop. So it will start its extraction from the given start index till less than the end index. Okay, and by a step of 1. If we are not giving any step values, like here we have not given any step values, so it will take a step by default 1. Okay, the default value for step is 1. And if I just remove this 5, okay, let me just write new arr, and if I don't give this and I just write 5, okay, so it will by default the value of start is 0, and by default the value of end is length of the array. Okay, and by default the value of step is 1. So if I do this, then it should extract into new array, that is 1 2 43 5 and 6. So let's just print the new array. Wait a second. Okay, I need to write here arr, right, the array name from where I want to extract. So well and good, right? Even if I don't write the start index, it works fine. Now what if I don't write the end index and I just give a start index? Okay, so if I write it this way, that I give it let's say 1 here, so 1 means the index 1, that is the value 2. Okay, and if I don't write this, it will take everything from here to the end of the list. Run. Well and good. Now if I want that every uh, even indexed elements should be taken, that is index 0, index 2 and so on, if I want that to happen, then what I can do is I can give a step of 2, starting from 0 to the end of the list by a step of 2. So 143, 6 and 8. 143, 6 and 8. That is what exactly we wanted, right? And if we want it to take the odd indices, then I can write here, I can start from 1 and I can make a step of 2. So 2, 5 and 7. 2, 5 and 7. So well and good. This is all about slicing in an array. You guys might be wondering that what about two-dimensional arrays and so on. So if I slice a two-dimensional array, I get a one-dimensional array. Okay, so I get one-dimensional arrays as elements. For example, let me just take a two-dimensional. I don't have a two-dimensional array here, so I need to write it. So let me just do this. And if I just put a bracket here, and I just put a bracket here, I'll need to remove that 8. The reason is both the dimensions should have equal number of elements. I mean, in a two-dimensional array, the elements of a two-dimensional array, that is a single-dimensional array, must have the equal length. So I will need to remove 8. Now it will work fine. Let me just write here array 2. So this is our two-dimensional array, right? And let me just write 8, 9 and 4. Okay, now if I want to extract only this, then what I can do is new arr is arr2. This is from index 1, right? The 0th index is this, the 1th index is this, right? And the second index is this, but we don't want the second index, we want up to less than the second index. So what we can do is 1 and 2. So it will give us up to less than the end index, right? This is the end index, less than the end index. So if I just print new arr, then it returns me this. If I don't write this, then it will give me both these things. Okay, so let me just run this. So it gives me both. So this is how array slicing is done in NumPy, and we are done with array slicing. Now let's go to array shape and reshape. For example, let us just consider this array, and this is also an array, right? So if I just want to know the shape, what are their shapes, so I'll just write print arr2 dot shape. So what it should return me that it has 3 elements, each containing 3 elements. Let me just remove this for simplicity, so that it will return 3 comma 2, such that it has 3 elements, each of the 3 element contains 2 elements. Okay, so the shape would be 3 comma 2. I'll need to run this first. Yes, so 3 comma 2. Now if I take the shape of new error, just try to guess what will it be. Shape. So the shape of new arr should be, it has 2 elements, right? And each of the 2 elements has 3 elements inside it. So the shape should be 2 comma 3. 2 comma 3. Fine. Yes, so this is what the shape operator does. If I just want the number of outer elements, or maybe you can also call it the number of rows in this fashion, right? These are rows, and these single values can be treated as columns, just for instance. Okay, so if you want to get the number of rows, then you can do is 0, because this is the 0th element. It returns a tuple. Okay, this shape returns a tuple, not a list, not a set. It returns a tuple, and the 0th index is this, and the 1th index is this for a tuple. So if I want only the 0th index of the tuple, then it will give me 3. Okay, and if I want 0th index of this, then it will return me 2. If I want 1th index, it will return me 3. Okay, so this is also how you can play with the shapes, but you cannot alter the shape using this shape command. You can only view the shapes. Okay, what if we want to alter the shape? Okay, suppose like, let me just take arr3. Okay, and p dot array 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. What if I want to alter the shape of this array? And let me just print arr3 first. What if I want to make this like 2 in a single dimension, then these 2 in a single dimension, and these 2 in a single dimension, making it a 2-dimensional array of length 3. Okay, so what we can do is, we want let's say arr3 dot reshape 2 comma 3. So we want 2 number of rows, sorry, we wanted 3 number of rows, right? 3 number of rows, and each having 2 elements. So we want 3 number of outer elements, and each of the 3 elements having 2 elements inside it. So this will reshape this array. So it's well and good, right? Now if you want to make it like see, I have to run this again because it is already converted into this format. Now if I want to make this 2 rows and 3 elements in it, I can directly do it this way. Okay, but what if we have a 7 here? Try to guess what will happen. You might be thinking that if I group it into, let's say 3, or maybe let's say 4, right? It cannot be 3, it can be only 4. So 4 elements, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this along with something else may be the 4th element, and each having 2 elements. But the problem with this thing is that it does not find a second element for this. Okay, and hence it will throw an error. It cannot be done. If I'm taking 2 number of columns, I mean, yes, 2 number of elements inside the outer elements, so it must be a multiple of 2. So this will throw an error. That cannot reshape the array of size 7 into shape 4 comma 2. So 4 into 2, it should be at least 8, right? Not at least, it should be exactly 8. So this kind of reshaping cannot be done. Okay, so I just need to add an 8 here, and it will work fine. Okay, now this was about reshape. How can we reshape an array? And then we are left with unknown dimensions in the reshape. Suppose if we want to if we don't know how many elements should be there in the columns, but we want 4 rows all of equal size. See, in arrays the number of elements in each outer element can never be unequal. Okay, it should always be equal. So we want 4 number of rows, 4 number of rows, right? And we don't want to specify how many number of elements we want in each rows. Okay, so if I run this, it will return exactly the same, because 8 divided by 4 is exactly 2, right? So it will automatically take 2 here. So same result, right? If I just give here 8, 9, 10, 11, and let's say 12. Okay, so if I do this, then see what happens. I don't need to specify 3 here, it will automatically take 3 there. But see, there can, this is called unknown dimension. Okay, this we don't specify this dimension. So there are some advantages of it, we'll talk about it now. But before going to that, let's before going to that, there can be only one unknown dimensions out of all the dimensions. Okay, there cannot be more than one unknown dimensions. I cannot keep both -1 and -1. There can be only one unknown dimension, remember that. Now, what can be the advantages? Suppose we have this thing. Okay, let me just copy it here and rename it to A4. Okay, we have this array, and it is an array of a single row containing 12 elements, right? What can be the advantages of reshape? Okay, single row, 12 elements. What if I want each element to be of one row, and there should be 12 rows such? So how can we make it as required, right? One element in a row and 12 number of rows. So it's easy, right? We can write 12, sorry, we can write arr4 dot reshape. We can give here 12 number of rows and 1 number of columns. Or we can use an unknown dimension here, and we just want one number of elements in each in the column field, only one column, that means, right? So we can give an unknown dimension here, it will return exactly the same thing. Okay, so this was all about shapes and reshapes. Okay, uh, just let's do one more example. What this is an array arr4, right? If we want that two number of elements in each row, and we want to have 6 number of rows, then we can do it this way, right? So this was all about reshape. I have nothing more to say here. So we'll continue the next 3 topics, that is flattening and ndarray, joining arrays, stacking horizontally and vertically, the where function, and the search sorted function. Okay, we'll talk about this in the next video. Uh, so thank you for watching. I hope you liked the video. If you actually liked the video, hit the like and also share it with your friends. If you have not subscribed yet, do subscribe and hit the bell notification. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day ahead.